A time-traveling pilot, his younger self, and their late father will team up to stop an evil corporation from using time travel as a mean to conquer the world. And that's why today, in Flick Summary, The Adam Project. The film opens with a space chase between a wounded time-traveling pilot, Adam Reed, and an enemy jet threatening to shoot if he doesn't stop. Adam is quick to create a wormhole to escape the situation and goes back in time from 2050 to 2022. We now cut to a young Adam Reed running away from his bullies in school. They catch up to him, punch him in the stomach, and leave him there sitting on the floor. Later that day, Adam's mother, Ellie, goes to the principal's office where she confronts him about wanting to suspend Adam for supposedly starting the fight. She tells him to have some compassion for her son, as he had lost his father only 1 year prior. At night, Ellie goes out on a date, leaving her 12-year-old son alone in the house. He's playing a VR flight simulation game but stops it right after he hears his dog, Hawking, barking at something in the woods. Adam goes out looking for whatever is out there, but hears some noise and runs away in fear to his dad's cabin. There, he freaks out even more when he discovers a middle-aged man is sitting there and bleeding on the floor. Adam keeps his cool and threatens his older version with a bat without realizing that the guy bleeding in the cabin is himself. Old Adam goes into young Adam's house and tries to heal his wound, but in the process ends up revealing to his 12-year-old self they both are the same person, but 30 years apart. Young Adam finds the idea of time traveling fascinating and accepts it really fast. They both head to the woods, and as they're talking, old Adam reveals he wasn't supposed to land in 2022, but rather in 2018. However, as he was flying away from the enemy jet we saw at the beginning of the movie, he didn't set the coordinates right and ended up 4 years ahead of the time he was supposed to travel back to. Old Adam wants to take his time jet once again to travel to 2018, but the ship got damaged during the chase, and now he can't get up there to fix it as he's hurt, and the time jet won't allow him to repair it until he's fine. Yeah, it's confusing, but it's got something to do with DNA and being in your best condition to be able to fly the ship. Good thing is, young Adam is not hurt, so he uses his DNA to activate the jet and both get up there to set up some things and leave the ship to repair itself. Young Adam goes back to the house while his older self stays alone in the cabin trying to get some rest. But he gets up from the couch and stares at Ellie through the window, who had just come back from her date and was out in the yard crying because young Adam had spoken to her poorly. The next morning, Adam's mother goes out to work and he takes the opportunity to go visit his older self at the cabin in the woods. Old Adam is trying to close his wound, but he can't do it there. So he changes clothes and they both go to the pharmacy to get some medicine and supplies. There, young Adam bumps into his bullies and they threaten to punch him. But old Adam sees the whole thing, and instead of intervening, he encourages his younger self to fight.
I'm gonna smoke your banana, mother.
No, that's not what we talked about.
Ray, however, has the upper hand and ends up kicking the little kid's ass. Young Adam runs away with tears in his eyes, but old Adam stays behind and threatens the bullies to harm them if they ever bother Adam again. He now goes back to the cabin where his younger self is going through his stuff and finds a picture of a woman who we then learn was old Adam's wife, Laura. Laura had traveled back to 2018, but she didn't make it back to her timeline after the jump. Adam was told her jet had broken upon re-entry, but he didn't believe any of that as she was the best pilot in the program. To put it in simpler words, Adam believed his wife had discovered something she wasn't supposed to, and that got her killed. So he is now trying to get to 2018 to recover the love of his life. However, there's more to it, as we also discover that the company the two of them worked at was that of Maya Sorian, Adam's old man partner. See, before Adam's father died, he had been working on what he would call the Adam Project, a magnetic particle accelerator funded by Sorian, a woman with enough power and money to pretty much rule the world. When he died, she took his tech and became even richer than before, but also used it to develop time travel and try to rule the world. As old Adam is telling his younger self this story, Hawking alerts them after hearing a noise. Old Adam realizes the bad guys have found them and they try to run away, but end up being ambushed by a group of Power Ranger type of soldiers with futuristic weapons. With no other choice but to fight, old Adam pulls out a magsil, which is really just a lightsaber, and defeats a couple of soldiers before being cornered up by Sorian herself and another group of soldiers who start punching Adam and attempt to take him back to his fixed timeline. Surprisingly, Laura shows up just in time and starts shooting at Maya's jet, giving Adam enough time to get on his feet and fight back the soldiers along with her. The two of them defeat the bad guys, and Sorian's jet vanishes in midair. But they know she still isn't gone. So they take young Adam with them to a car and drive away as fast as they can to avoid being captured by more bad guys. A chase ensues, but they manage to get away and drive off to a cabin in the middle of nowhere. There, Laura reveals Sorian had tried to kill her after she discovered Lady Evil here had visited herself on November 2018 to leave some future intel on how to gain full control of the time program. That way, she would be able to literally dominate the world using time as a weapon. So when Laura's jet was about to explode, she ejected and got stuck in 2018, waiting for Adam to be crazy enough and travel back in time to rescue her. But since he got the coordinates wrong and landed in 2022, Laura had to live her life all alone for 4 years. Sad thing is, the reunion doesn't last much longer as Laura tells Adam he needs to stop time travel from ever being invented and save the future. He agrees to do so, but asks her to go with him, which unfortunately she can't do, as Adam's jet is meshed for his DNA and it simply won't flight with anyone else on board. He points out at the fact that if he does what she's asking of him, they won't ever meet, because it was a time travel program what brought them together the first time. In other words, no time travel, no program, no meeting each other. Laura tries to calm him down, telling him that she believes they are meant to be together, and if they didn't meet in the program, they would meet anywhere else. Time cuts short when the bad guys find them again. Laura says her goodbyes to Adam and he drives off with his younger self to get to the jet and travel back in time to 2018 to stop time travel from ever being invented. Sorian gets to Laura's cabin and asks her to call Adam, but she stalls, giving Adam enough time to get in the jet and fly away. This, however, annoys Sorian, who in turn shoots Laura from her jet, killing her for real this time. Thing is, her death might as well have been in vain, since Sorian catches up to Adam and a chase between both jets ensues. Adam hides under a cave and gets told he only has one jump left in his jet, so if he doesn't succeed in his mission in 2018, neither him or young Adam will be able to go back to their fixed timeline. They think it over, but decide to take the risk and open another wormhole that sends them back in time to where they need to be. We are now taken to a university class in 2018 where Adam's father, Lewis, is teaching physics. Old Adam and his younger self manage to get into the class, and as soon as it's over, they introduce themselves and break the news to their father about time travel being a thing. But much like young Adam when he met his older self, Lewis doesn't freak out and accepts the theory pretty quickly, actually getting excited to know that he was responsible for creating time travel in the first place. But as excited as he is about that piece of news, he doesn't want to know anything else and asks both versions of his sons to go back to their time, as telling him anything about the future could cause a divergence. However, old Adam tells him it doesn't matter anymore because his partner in business, Maya, had already changed the future. That night, the three of them are in a motel room talking about their next move when old Adam tells his father they need to destroy time travel and prevent it from ever being invented. Lewis, however, believes they shouldn't be discussing any of that, as he still thinks the three of them talking about the subject could bring catastrophic consequences to the universe. They get into an argument, and old Adam asks Lewis to stop being a scientist and start being a dad to his young son before leaving the room to catch some air. Lewis apologizes to young Adam and leaves as well, making it clear that he won't be a part of anything they're planning. We are then taken to Sorian's headquarters, where we meet a young Maya talking on the phone with a government official about wormholes and time travel, but gets interrupted when Maya from the future walks in and warns her that Lewis's son Adam will try to sabotage time travel and prevent it from ever existing. The next morning, Adam's father is home with his wife, talking about whether he is a good father or not, and coming to the realization that he needs to do more for his family. Ellie cheers him up and tells him he is a good father and that whenever he is with them, he gives his 100%. This would seem to be more than enough for Lewis to decide to go help his sons from the future and join them in their quest. So he goes on his way to Sorian's headquarters, but both Adams are already there. Young Adam is sitting still on a bench and controlling some type of drone to shoot the enemies, while his older self is fighting futuristic soldiers to try and get into the facility. They defeat most of the bad guys, but then two cars show up on the road and head towards old Adam's way. Young Adam manages to destroy one of the cars, but leaves the other still driving and getting close to his older version. Fortunately, Lewis gets to Sorian's headquarters just in time to save old Adam, who was about to be hit by one of the bad guys' cars. Father and son talk about the plan, and old Adam tells him he's going to destroy his accelerator and be done with it. Lewis tells him he can't do that because Maya will only rebuild the device again. So the only way to actually prevent time travel from being being invented is to destroy the formula he used to create the accelerator in the first place. Thing is, the formula is stored in some hard drive located in the sub-basement of the complex. So they go their way into the elevator and leave young Adam outside to cover the perimeter and prevent anybody from going in. Right, leave a 12-year-old guarding a military facility. Great idea. Old Adam and his father get the hard drive and celebrate just for 1 second before both young and old Maya walk into scene with a group of futuristic soldiers ready to take the drive back from their hands. But when old Adam refuses to give it back, old Maya brings young Adam into the room and threatens to shoot him if they don't return the hard drive. Old Adam says he has to think about it for a second, but in reality he is just stalling so his younger self can free himself while his captor is distracted. However, as he does so, a bullet goes loose and hits the accelerator, breaking the glass and compromising the electromagnetic seal, causing all metals to attach to it. The AI in the building commences the emergency protocol and closes all doors, leaving everyone locked inside. While this is happening, one of Saurian's goons tries to take the drive back from Adam, but fails to do so and dies during the fight. More metals are getting attached to the accelerator, finally breaking the glass in full and forcing the system to commence an evacuation process. Now everyone has 2 minutes to get out of there if they don't want to die. But just as old Adam, his younger self, and their father are trying to leave, they get stopped by both Mayas who threaten to shoot them if they don't give them the hard drive back. Lewis puts himself in front of his children and refuses to give Maya the drive to the very last minute. So, she shoots the gun, but the bullet gets drawn to the accelerator and pierces her younger self in the process, which in turn kills her as well. With only 10 more seconds to escape, the trio of men run away and make it out just in time to save their lives. So now it's only a matter of time until both Adams disappear and go back to their time. But before they do so, they try to tell their father he is going to die. He stops them right when they are about to tell him and says he already knew. But rather, they don't tell him when or how it happens, as that is his fate. They make peace with each other and play one last game of catch together before both Adams disappear. Now that they're back in their fixed timeline, we see young Adam hugging his mom and treating her better to show her that he loves her, and old Adam meeting Laura once again, but this time in a lecture for pilots. I don't know about you, but this kind of reminds me of a movie I watched back in 2019. And that's all for today. Now tell me, where would you go if you had the ability to time travel? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends.